Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson, and you're listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Oh, yeah.
So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to reach out real quick and kind of actually follow up on something that I talked about recently in an earlier podcast. I can't believe we're on episode like 42 or something like that. Time's hauling, and I can't believe how much has already been done. This podcast has only been up for, I don't even know, 2 or 3 months. And there's already like 8,000 downloads, which is crazy. So thank you to all of you guys that are out there, to everyone who's listening. I know that you guys are all, just so you know, there's a lot of others that are also listening besides you. And lots of people reaching back out, lots of people asking questions. It's been a lot of fun, really enjoyed it. If you do have a question you want me to answer on the podcast, I'd actually really like doing that. It's actually a lot of fun. Just go to secretmlmhacksradio.com. It'll have you opt in, but on the second page there's actually a green button you can click and you can record a question to me straight off of your browser. I'll take that question, your voice straight, I'll put it right into the actual podcast itself and go ahead and answer it, which is kind of fun. So anyway, hey, a lot of you guys know that I was a door-to-door salesman, I was a telemarketer. I did a lot of sales, you know, and there's this interesting phenomenon that happens when you're in sales. It's kind of funny because there's a huge thrill, right, with making the sale. But what's funny is that there's some aspects of it that get a little bit monotonous and boring, and I had to become patient, and I had to learn to be even more patient in. For example, let's say I was talking to somebody on the phone, and I was selling B2B. I was selling software to business owners, and what I would do is I would practice getting past the gatekeeper, you know, which was usually the receptionist or the assistant, and they would be the first one to answer the phone, and I had to convince them to hand the phone to their boss, so I was pitching the right person, and that was a bit of a piece of art itself. But just like in door-to-door sales, the exact same thing would happen. Within the first 3 weeks of any sales job I ever had, I felt like I knew every single objection that I would ever hear again ever. Because the receptionist or the assistant would hand the phone to the boss, and I'd start talking, and I would start selling, and I would start doing well, and then they would ask a question that the previous guy had asked, you know, because there was a logical question. Well, how much is it? Well, is there a contract? Well, do I need to hire more staff for it? You know, stuff like that. And these questions happened over and over and over and over. They repeated, right? They repeated over and over and over and over. And this was true for door-to-door sales. True, obviously, for telemarketing. It's true for anything. True for any sales involved, including MLM sales. Now, I guarantee if you think back, there's probably two different types of people who are listening to this podcast right now. Type 1, you might be the kind of person who's brand new in MLM and you haven't talked to that many people yet. And so you're not sure what those patterns are. You're not sure what those patterns of objection are, right? Where you're starting to see like, hey, everyone's asking one of these 3 questions every time I bring it up. You know what I mean? And then the second kind of person is the person who does know that, where you've been in it long enough, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but you notice what those objections are over and over and over and over and over. And here's kind of my challenge to you, is to go and figure out how to effectively resolve that concern, every one of them. So in fact, I would write it out, like. And I've actually done that. I've got a huge list of them on my whiteboards here, of different beliefs that people have about the MLM industry. And what I did is I went through and I figured out how to answer each one of those questions. And then I put a close immediately afterward, just like you would in any kind of sales environment. What's funny about that is you resolve the concern and immediately go back to the close again. But it could be a soft close. We're not talking like hard closing somebody or making them feel uncomfortable or whatever. But what I encourage you to do, this is a neat step of duplication, by the way, is if you know what the top 3 or even 10 objections are, it's nice as the sales guy to get to those before they do, okay? So that they feel like there's no more ammo left for them to fight against you, okay? And again, I'm not talking about being a hunter here where you track and trap and you trick somebody into joining your downline, but in any environment where there's a sale or transaction happening, someone is going to have to convince somebody else that their beliefs are wrong and they need to get new beliefs, which means come join your downline. You know what I mean? Like that's true for any kind of sales environment. So here's what I recommend you do. And this is what I've been doing too, is that as I've given like the same presentation over and over and over and over, and I see what those patterns are, I'm literally creating my own presentation from just me, just my own head. I'm creating my own presentation that does the presentation, but also resolves all of the top concerns that I see, okay, that I'm constantly seeing. That way, when somebody says, hey, you know what? And last episode I talked about, lead gen and how to create good lead gen. Maybe that's 2 episodes ago, I can't remember. But good lead gen, right? How to actually get people to become attracted to you, right? Let's say someone comes over to you now, they're like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? This is so cool. Like, I'd love to join your downline. Could we chat, or is there a call, or is there something like that I can get more information on? This is a very easy, very natural place for you to start handing out the link to your own presentation, where you're giving that presentation and resolving the major concerns, and continually afterwards just like closing them and being assumptive about it, saying like, hey, well, do you want to, do you want to join? Is there, you know what I mean? Like whatever your closes are. And this very, very easy way to do that. So what I've been doing lately is I'm actually putting together an auto-closing funnel. I build a lot of internet sales funnels. It's basically just a series of web pages that are tied together, but there's a lot of automation behind them. So on the first page, they go through and they can register to go and actually check out yesterday's replay of the presentation, or they can schedule a future one as well. Well, what I'm doing is I'm just writing a webinar script for, and there's a lot of ways to do it. And it's one of the major things that I teach. I'm what's called the 2 Comma Club coach. 2 commas meaning $1 million. And I helped create the program with Russell Brunson at ClickFunnels. But it's 2 Comma Club coaching, meaning, the purpose of the program is for me to take you from 0 to $1 million. And what we do though is a lot of webinars. I teach a lot of webinars to people, and there's a lot of ways to do it. There's a ton of ways to screw it up. There's a lot of ways to do it right. Or I should say there's fewer ways to do it right, just like anything in life. A lot of ways to screw things up. You got to do it the right way though. But what I do though is I basically write pretty much a webinar funnel addressing all the major concerns and pitching at the same time, so that the only conversation I really need to have with that individual is any last minute questions before they join, so that I'm not redoing the presentation every single time. Like, I don't know about you, like, I need more variety in my life than that. Like, oh my gosh, like, there's been times where I've done the presentation every night, like boom, 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 and it's fine, and I get it, and and it's good. It works. I'm recruiting like crazy, and it's awesome, but I want my evenings, you know what I mean? So what I've been doing is I've been putting together going through those top 3 objections again, so that the presentation is there, all the same things that I need to have are in there, and it's not done yet, and I'll update you guys when it is done. But it's that's what I've been building and putting together lately, so that I get replicated again. You know what's cool about that? How powerful of an asset is that for everyone else in my downline? Right, so start thinking about that for yours. You start thinking about all the people in your downline. Start thinking about what it is that you actually offer and teach and do, and and start thinking through, what can I create to help duplicate my time? Okay, again, it's not to remove the human element. I wouldn't try to do that. Don't remove the human element. It's not like you can't. It's not like you're going to join your MLM and never talk to you. Of course, you're going to have to talk to them. But you'll be able to sift out, just to the great people, the people that are going to be amazing, the people that are dying to be a part of your thing. and you've already resolved the major concerns, or at least address them, or at least let them know that that those are major concerns. Like, anyway, I hope that you're seeing what I'm talking about with this. It was funny. I had to practice a lot of patience on the doors when I was a door-to-door sales guy or as a telemarketer, because I could already tell, and I know that you guys are all the same way too, I could tell what question they were going to ask before they asked it, and I know that if you don't know what those things are yet, you are not selling hard enough, frankly. So go start selling harder. Start trying to figure out what it is that people actually want to join and do and be a part of, and ask those questions. And when someone doesn't join, that's fine. You can still get data from them. Go to them and say, look, I'm not offended that you didn't join. That's totally okay. Like, what I just want to know is why, so I can improve it in the future. I have done that so many times to people. And what's funny is that there's actually been a lot of times where I've said that very phrase to people, and they'll come back and actually join the downline because I went through those things with them, and I didn't realize that there were like three other things that I wasn't thinking of, and they needed more clarity on, or something like that. Like, anyway, so that's all I'm trying to say with this is start thinking through what you can do to automate the presentation. And your MLM might already have automated presentation stuff. That's great. If they already have automated presentation things, or they've given you videos, which most of them probably have, if they've got all that kind of stuff already for you, that's fine. But guess what? They still have a huge knee-jerk reaction objections to what it is they just watched. Figure out what those are. Maybe that's where you create your follow-up piece and you actually send to them afterwards. Hey, watch this. As soon as you do, now watch this. And it'll go through and show your... man, I've closed so many more people by being real and being myself after the president gets off, the president of the MLM gets off with me pitching my friends or family or just awesome people or something. You know what I mean? I've closed a lot more people just afterwards, just chit-chatting it up, talking about those different things, way more than when it's just me and the president. So anyway, I am super thankful for this community, guys. I just want you to know that this very rare community. I feel like there's not many MLM communities on the internet where I feel like we're actually involved with each other a little bit. I appreciate the involvement. I appreciate the feedback from each of these episodes. I appreciate each one of you guys taking the time to listen, and I hope that it's being helpful. I really want this to be helpful to you. I want this to actually solve real issues and hopefully spark your mind on what you can be doing to get your MLM to the next level, to get you to the next rank, to get your team to the next rank, to get more downline volume in your sales and such. I haven't even talked that much about product sales yet. I am so excited to do so. I am very versed in that as far as selling on the internet and things. But I will definitely go through that probably here shortly as well. In fact, I should go write that on my whiteboards here. But anyway, appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. And I am very passionate about trying to fix the MLM industry. I believe that it is a little bit broken out of the box right now. And when you get it, it's very similar products with extremely old tactics that are just incredibly annoying because things have evolved. Technology, a lot of the tactics aren't, you shouldn't be using the same ones. We certainly aren't using Civil War strategies in the Army anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to evolve. And so, but a lot of times people just don't know what to do, or they don't have any kind of guidance on it. Or frankly, I buy a lot of books, so I can see what other MLMers and other MLM leaders in the industry are doing. There's really only like one or two MLMers out there that I kind of know of that are kind of doing something similar to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. And I'm not patting my own back, you guys. I just want you to know that I'm very passionate about it because I see that there is a serious need for the kind of stuff that this goes through. And I love your questions and I love the involvement back and forth. And I'm very, very thankful and humbled at what this has become in just a very short 2 or 3 months. So anyways, you guys are all awesome. And anyway, I appreciate it. And let me know if there's anything else extra I can be doing for you or that would add value to this or whatever. And excited for the launch of Secret MLM Hacks, January 4th. That's it, guys. And I will talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback for me. Do you have a question you want answered live on the show? Go to secretmlmhacksradio.com to submit your question and download your free MLM Masters Pack.